Tavern in Maryville at 92.5 FM and 1180 AM. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Bringing you the best in Blount County sports since 1978. Featuring the Greenfield Gunner, Mike Edwards, former Maryville Scott, Donnie Moore, and from the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here at the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville, along with Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore, longtime sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons, Daily Times sports reporter Caleb Giroux, and Carson Newman assistant football coach Tony Iruli. And this is the GoTeez sports page. Rick Barnes and his Tennessee Vols face a struggling LSU team, and we're going to the whistle blows. And now let's set today's lineup card. Donnie Moore will report on the latest high school basketball scores involving Blount County high school teams, and we'll follow up with some national sports stories. Marcus Fitzsimmons and Caleb Giroux will be on board to update us on what's happening in local high school sports. Marcus will present his feature Mark It Down, and the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segments. Heritage Bowling will be in the house. I'll talk some Tennessee basketball as we look back on the Vols week, and then we'll spring forward to preview today's game with LSU. We'll also weigh in on last Sunday's Super Bowl. The Letter Rip segment is set to go, so let's break the huddle and dive right in. Guys, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh,
thank
you,
you
sir. Very much.
And if
that means a lot to get a happy Valentine's.
And if you haven't gone to get your Valentine's gifts or whatever you do,
big time trouble.
Well, you're going to have a bad day.
Tony's still getting the same gift from 3 years ago.
Yeah,
so he's all right.
Yeah, well, when you got something that works, you just stay with it, don't you?
Keep it rolling. Yeah, Carol just keeps stacking up higher and higher. The joke is I got Carol a gift about 3-4 years ago, and the next year I got Carol the exact same little jewelry and all that. So that's kind of. Of course, that's the first time you've heard that one. Yeah. You keep reminding me of it quite often.
You know, back when I was in grade school, you had Valentine's Day, and everybody got all the kids brought Valentines and exchanged them in class, and I got my one every year. There was only one Valentine I got every year. I had to get my one Valentine. I guess I don't know, but anyway, it was always a big day at school, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure. Lots of fun exchanges. And
back in those days, you made the Valentine.
Yeah.
You didn't go buy them.
Yeah. Now you got to get a lot of different things, but got Carol a couple of nice gifts, and so she's very happy. And I did not get her the same one I gave her 2-3 years ago.
Good job, Tony.
Yeah.
It's the best one. The thing of people think about Halloween, but it's one of those holidays where you can load those little ones up with those little sugar hearts until they vibrate and then send them home.
Yeah. Do they still have those sugar hearts, those little tiny things?
With the messages on them, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Conversation hearts.
Well, they've been around a long time.
You can go on. You can go on and order
vibrating
custom.
hearts. Yeah, that's
get your own messages put on them now.
Yeah. Okay.
Custom.
All right. Hey, I got a little letter rip this morning. I'm all over the Lady Vol basketball team a little bit. I hate to do that, but it's just had a bad day last Sunday against South Carolina.
Yeah.
Hey, this past Sunday, the Lady Vols traveled to South Carolina to take on the third-ranked Gamecocks, and Tennessee was beaten easily, 93-50. It was their third loss to a top team this season. The other two, number 3 UCLA, 99-77, and number 1 Connecticut, 96-66. The Lady Vols seemed to hang around in the first half against these teams for the most part, but when it came to the second half, the roof caved in. This Lady Vol team is having trouble getting up off the canvas to fight again when the going gets tough. In the old days, when a team had everything going their way, they would play lights out, but when confronted with a little adversity, they would fold. Term used for these teams, front runners. This Lady Vol team seems to fit that mold, especially against teams which are cream of the crop. Coach Caldwell goes a little further with her analysis of this team, as she says they might just quit on ya if the going gets tough. Caleb, that's a pretty strong statement from a coach, but you know what? I'd have to say pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly. At no point should Tennessee women's basketball lose by 30, even if it is to UConn, much less 43 to South Carolina. I mean, they picked up 2 of their 3 worst losses in program history in a 7-day span.
Yeah, and those are records you don't want to. You
No,
really don't want to have.
I mean, it's not like they haven't played anybody. This is a program that's been playing, some of the best teams in women's basketball history, and to get those 2, especially in that fashion, definitely did not look good. And both games were on national television. The loss to South Carolina was the most watched women's basketball game across the ESPN networks all year, averaged almost 2 million viewers, and then the UConn game was the most watched women's basketball game on Fox this year.
Yeah. And the thing I noticed about it was that in each of those 3 blowout games, they gave up 90-plus points.
Yeah.
So, defense needs a little work maybe right there.
You talk about the most watched games. Are you going by the start of the game, or are you going by how many was around at the end of the game?
I think they average it out.
Numbers.
So I would assume you're checking in to see what the score is and realizing, oh, man, how did this happen?
Yeah.
But,
Who I felt bad for was Caleb, because the day before you went up to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And watched that blowout loss to Tennessee against Kentucky. Then you drove all the way down to South Carolina.
I did, yeah.
And better man than I am.
For 10 minutes, I thought we were going to get a good game in South Carolina.
And Monday morning, he had an appointment with a psychiatrist, to talk a little bit about the weekend, get things straightened out a little bit.
Yeah, and then he's here with us.
Yeah. Tony, let me ask you this. Is this the when they're having problems against these teams, they don't seem to be having near as much trouble against – they've beaten some teams that's been ranked, like 15th, 16th in the country.
Right.
They do okay in the SEC up to this point. They've still got some really tough games to play. Is this a mental problem? Is it a problem with mental toughness, or it's just I hate to use the word, or is it just I'm being as nice as I possibly can with front runners, but there is another word for that. You just quit.
Yeah. I think it's time for them to have a little closed-door meeting with the coaches and players and get everyone out of there and have a couple heart-to-heart talks with them and lay it all out on line, because there's no reason. Oh, okay, if they lose, they lose, but they shouldn't be blown out no matter what by 30-some points or more. Not playing it for the University of Tennessee.
It's time for a come-to-Jesus meeting.
It's a come-to-Jesus meeting, character meeting.
Well, shoot, she laid it all out in the press conference.
She did.
Yeah, she certainly did.
She said they quit, and then I asked how you get them to not quit, and she said the players do it. So,
so it may be a personnel problem.
I mean,
she
that's
pinned it on the players. She made the personnel.
Yeah, I mean, that's the time where you close the doors, throw some garbage cans, scream, holler. All the things that I'm used to doing.
Yeah, me too, Tony.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
When I played at Tennessee, we went down to Houston to play one night, and they had a great team. Guy Lewis was coaching. Played them in Hall Fines Pavilion down there. They were 6'8", 6'9", 6'8" up front, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. And golly, we went right down to the wire and got beat by 1. And I was the first one back to the locker room. I'll never forget it. And they had all these Cokes in cans in there in the locker room. And I picked every one of those Cokes up, and I threw every one of them, and they were all spewing all over the walls, all over the ceiling. And I thought, Coach Mears came in there, and I'm going, man, I am going to get drilled. He goes, who did all this? And everybody, everybody knew who did it, but nobody said anything. Finally, I said, well, I did it. And he goes, I'll tell you right now, that's what we need. We need more of this. We need more somebody picking up some cans and throwing them, when the thing gets scored. And I was bad. I mean, listen, I was a bad armory in locker rooms after losses. We played down at Georgia when I was a freshman. And we literally had the game taken in the last few seconds when I was a freshman. Of course, we had freshman teams back then, see. So they dressed us in a classroom down there at Georgia, and I was the first one in there, and I destroyed that classroom. There was chairs all over the place, and a lawyer from I can't remember his name, from Morristown, and A.W. Davis was coaching. His name was Creed Daniels. That was his name. Creed was in there when I was in there ducking chairs. And A.W. came to the door, and Creed walks out there, and he goes, hey, I don't think you want to go in there. So, I'm wondering where's somebody like that? Where's somebody with a little bit of bulldog? Yeah. After you get hit in the face about 50 times, that you step up to the plate, Tony. That's what I'm asking.
Exactly. Slide down a little bit. I don't want to get Mike all upset. I'm not saying anything that he don't agree with today.
Yeah. How about you, Tony? Did you throw anything? Or?
A few things just to get their attention. And I mean, that's what they need to do. It's like we said, a come to Jesus type of meeting. Call everyone out. Say, hey, we're the University of Tennessee. We have very high expectations here. Our expectation is not to lose to anyone. I don't care who it is by 30-some points, especially within the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, they bounced back on Thursday with a blowout win over former head coach Kelly Harper's Missouri team, but Missouri's not very good.
Well, yeah, they got off to a good start, and everything was great and going good, and, they just played.
And
then
you got Texas tomorrow, another ABC game at 3 p.m., so it'll be a good bounce-back game if they use it.
Well, it's at home. It's at home. We'll see what happens there.
Surely it can't be worse than 43, right?
Yeah.
I had a coach one time at William Blount when I was there who decided he was going to express his displeasure at something, and he had a clipboard. And he just slung that clipboard like a frisbee, and it just went. It made a big curve like a boomerang and went right back over his head and hit somebody up the stand.
Yeah. When I was coaching at Farragut, we played Bearden one night.
Yep.
And the game was over right at the end, and I heard my assistant coach, Coach Heatherly, talking to the trainer, and he says, "Take your key to the locker room and take everything out of there that's loose." So when I got to the locker room, there wasn't any pictures were off of the walls. All the chairs were out of the locker room. It looked like it was a total remodel in that locker room, and my hands were going like this. Something to throw,
trying to find something.
Yeah,
we got to be careful around here.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've settled down quite a bit.
Yes, you
have. Sort of, anyway.
Yeah. Hey, last Saturday, let's move on. Last Saturday, Tennessee went up to Kentucky along with Caleb.
Yeah, again.
Caleb was up there, and
what a weekend you had.
And the Vols were trying to avoid
the
Vols were trying to avoid a sweep, but that didn't happen. Kentucky won at 74-71. It wasn't quite as bad. They blew a 15-point lead or so in Knoxville and just a 14-point lead up there in Lexington. Different venue up there, but Caleb, same old story.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this. I mean, they just go silent on offense and everything falls apart. It happened again at Mississippi State, and Mississippi State is really bad at men's basketball, and they let them go on an 18-0 run. Luckily, the lead was so big they could pull it out, but I mean, like you said, it's the same story. Rick Barnes said it was a little different because he thought they quit in Knoxville, but they didn't quit in Kentucky. But I think that might be where you give up open three. You give an open three and an offensive rebound when you're trying to win the game at the end. I don't think there's a worse circumstance you could ask for.
Yeah.
And your best rebounder was on the bench during that final sequence. He had 12 rebounds, and I think 8 or 9 of those came in the second half, and Dwayne Brown was sitting on the bench while Kentucky was taking free throws. And sure enough, they get an offensive rebound when you could have grabbed that and at least, got a somewhat of a good shot off to try to win.
Man. I was really – I'll tell you what, I was so amazed. They had put together really maybe the best half of basketball they'd played all season, the first half. I mean, they were totally in control. And so I switched.
They did look really good.
I thought, this is, there's just no way. It's a Rick Barnes team. They're going to come out and milk the clock, and they're going to make – it's not going to change, and, they're going to come away with a win. So I turned over to watch Michigan State and Illinois. That game went into overtime. And then I thought they put the score up there, and they'd cut it to 5, and I'm going, how did they do this, with about 11 minutes or 12 minutes to go in the game? So I quickly flipped back there to see what was going on. But
especially, I recall just before the halftime, Tennessee had 2 or 3 really big baskets, and so they left the court really with a lot of big momentum coming off the first half.
I think, and what – Rick joked too, like if you put the first half they played against Kentucky in Knoxville and the first half they played against Kentucky in Rupp together, they could win a national championship. That's
Absolutely.
2 of their best halves all year.
Absolutely. Well, I watched the first half. They left Jacoby Gillespie alone. They let Nate Ament pretty well do whatever he wanted to do. And I'm sitting there going, who's going over scouting reports with you people? Tennessee's got really 2 offensive basketball players for the most part.
Yep.
They usually have just about half or pretty close to half their points, and you're just letting them do whatever they want to do out there? What are you trying to prove here? Well, the second half, somebody must have said, well, let's go over the scouting report of the game. They're half late going over it, but Gillespie comes out. He had 14 the first half. He had 1 the second. Amen had 21 the first half. He had 8 the second half. So somebody explained to me how Kentucky could make that big of adjustment on 2 players that were on the way to having probably the best night they'd had all season, first half.
Caleb?
They doubled Nate Ament, and then Tennessee passed it to their front court, and you'll never guess what they did. Missed everything at the rim.
Yeah.
I think they were J.P. Estrella finished the second half 1 for 7. And you know his farthest shot in the second half, it was 5 feet away from the rim.
I'll tell you what.
Those bigs, for how much acclaim they get, it's the best offensive rebounding team in 25 years, just went silent in the second half, and it's hard to score if your big men aren't getting you anything.
I don't want to criticize coaches in the Southeastern Conference. Well, I really do, because they're paid quite a bit of money. But Tennessee's got 2 players, 2 offensive players. Now you can throw Boswell in there every once in a while if you want to, but he's not going to beat you. Mm-mm. He's going to score some points, but he's not going to beat you. And Caleb just hit the nail on the head. Well, I mean, inside players. You know, we got a guy in there that's 6'10", 6'8", 6'9". I don't know what he is. 275 pounds, and he gets you 2 rebounds. You know, and maybe a couple of points. Well,
Felix Okpara can barely walk. And you're playing him.
If I'm playing Tennessee, I'm playing a triangle and 2, and I'm putting 3 guys in the paint. And I'm putting a guy on Gillespie and a Mint, and I'm saying all you got to do is keep them from getting the ball and scoring. That's all you got to do tonight. Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do. If Boswell comes out there and he beats you, so be it. But I'm telling you right now, this is a 2-man offensive basketball team right now.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and they're not. And to boot, if you watch the game today, and just count how many good looks a Mint gets and how many good looks Gillespie gets, and you're thinking, what are these people thinking about trying to set up a defense against this team? I don't know. How do y'all feel about it? Is there more? I mean, there's just no inside scoring whatsoever.
Here's a stat for you, Mike. They had 19 offensive rebounds against Kentucky, and they made 12 points off of those. It's brutal. I mean, this team's best offense, if it's not Nate Ament and Jacoby Gillespie, is getting offensive rebounds and putting them back.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't do that. J.P. Estrella finished the game 4 for 13 in the paint. Felix Okpara, who's nursing a calf injury, he can't move around very well. They're having to play him in the second half because nobody else can do anything. And so you'd rather take your hurt 7-footer over some of your starters who let you down. I mean, 3 for 7 on layups in the game. It's just
Estrella looked like the kid who was the first one to get to 6 feet tall in 8th grade, but still is uncoordinated. And they throw him the ball because he's the biggest guy on the court, but he keeps missing from under the basket. I mean, it was just painful to watch.
Yeah, you just got a basketball team right now that's in bad need of a solid inside player.
Oh, yeah, big
a
time.
really solid inside. If they had a solid inside player right here, you know, we would be talking probably about a top 10 basketball team in the country right now.
I would think so.
You know,
honestly,
he's getting a lot of mileage out of. I mean, the rebounding is their strong point. They out-rebounded Kentucky 46-31 the other night, and before right to the end of the game, but Kentucky was like in the 20s, 25, 26, 27 rebounds. But look at the second half outside shooting for Tennessee, 6 of 30. 6 of 30.
Wow.
6 of 30. And how about the 3-point shots? 0 for 6 with a big goose egg. 0% from the 3. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde. And
Nate Ament had half of those.
And you know, no lead is safe with this team. Just absolutely no lead whatsoever. Doesn't matter how big it is.
That's right.
We'll find a way to make it exciting.
What was their demeanor on the bench? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, was there sense of urgency or just everyone just kind of
it was about the same. The problem with they blow these second half leads, and it's not the defense. They play the same defense for 40 minutes, so they're not giving up easy buckets. So it took Kentucky almost 10 minutes to dwindle down a 10-point lead, but at no point during that stretch did Tennessee find any offense. And they don't have, like you said, Nate Ament is probably your go-to guy, so Kentucky doubles him, and Jacoby Gillespie goes quiet 0 for 6 in the second half.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, well, if Jacoby isn't hitting and Nate's getting doubled, surely one of your paint guys will step up. None of them.
But you have a possession in there where you got 4 shots off on one possession,
And
got
didn't hit a
3
single
offensive
one.
rebounds, didn't get and score.
Oh, wow.
Well, the word is for this team is they got to find some consistency.
Oh, yeah.
They have got to find some consistency. And Tony, I'm glad you asked about the bench. You know, what was the demeanor on the bench and how they were? They reacted. Yeah, they got 4 points.
Yeah, that's not.
That was another problem. They got 4 points off. That's what they got off bench points the other night, and that's they've been doing better than that throughout the season. But,
I mean, that's a time where you need to have your leaders on that team step up and get some in the face of some of your teammates and, show some really strong leadership and all that. But if they're just kind of overwhelmed and get on the bench and just kind of wandering with their looks and expressions, I mean, that's
Kentucky had 44 points in the paint, and Tennessee had 24. Yeah. And Tennessee's the best offensive rebounding team in the country and has 4 big men who all can contribute.
Yeah.
But the thing is, those big guys don't go to contact. They try to avoid contact. And when they do get contact, they're like watching Shaq shoot free throws. I mean, it's just horrible.
Painful.
And you get a different version of those guys every night. So it makes it really tough to try to win basketball games.
This is not a great Kentucky basketball team. They're ranked 25th in the country, and they haven't been in the rankings hardly at all year long. And they're a come from behind. They're on the opposite spectrum. They get behind, come back, and win. Tennessee goes up big and gets beat, against them. And
they've been calling for Mark Pope's head this year at Kentucky, and Tennessee's gifted them 2 wins. He's 4-0 now against Tennessee.
And you know what? That'll make people up there forget a little bit when you do that. And now Tennessee's got to go to the SEC tournament later in the year if they face Kentucky again. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the record books, but has Kentucky ever beaten Tennessee 3 games in a season? I mean,
last year Tennessee won.
Marcus, put on your hat back there. Can you remember covering Tennessee?
I believe it did happen once when we first went to playing the 2-game schedule. When you had 2 or 3 that you played twice. I think the first or second year that they did that happened.
Let's put it this way: it may have happened, but you can't remember when.
I cannot recall.
So it obviously hadn't happened very much.
I cannot recall it directly offhand. I'm pretty sure it did happen, and I think it was the second year that we played Kentucky twice in one season.
I don't recall it. But that's sort of what they're looking at right now. And of course, we've talked about how big a game Kentucky is to Tennessee basketball. It's like the Alabama game in football,
right.
Florida game, or the Georgia. I mean, it's right up there. It's the game outside of probably Vanderbilt. Now Vanderbilt's coming up. You haven't played them, and they got two games with Vanderbilt, and I think the first one's over there.
Next Saturday.
And the second one's here, and there's a Vanderbilt team that's. Golly, they beat the living hound out of Kentucky, over there in Nashville. You're talking about a meltdown. That was one game Kentucky didn't even start to come back in. But you'd probably have to think that this Vanderbilt team is a better team than Kentucky, huh, Caleb?
Yeah, and I mean Vanderbilt this year they're finally playing Byington style of play. They shoot. The only gripe is they have a couple injuries, but by the time Tennessee gets over there, I'm sure those guys will be healthy. And
they'll get healed.
You'll be comparing. I mean, it'll be 2 very different styles of play, with Tennessee wanting to go slow and get in the paint, and Vanderbilt just wants to shoot the lights out the gym, and they've done it effectively. Now, if Tennessee's big guys play, maybe, but if you get that performance out of them against Vanderbilt, they'll have a 20-point lead before you can blink.
Yeah. Well, talk a little bit about this week, and if we look forward just a tad before we get here, but Tennessee has the 2 games with Vanderbilt, which is going to help them in the NCAA tournament. They've also got a game with Alabama, left.
That's right, they do.
But this has kind of been, I guess, the breather week, the breather part of the season, or should be. Mississippi State, not a very good team. They took care of them 73-64. Expected to win down there. Mississippi State in the bottom of the league. They got LSU today that's really struggling. 6 o'clock on the SEC network. Another bad team in the SEC. They really haven't recovered since Kentucky hit the last-second shot down there in Baton Rouge. That kind of put them on the spin. And then you got Oklahoma coming in here next week, Caleb. So that's 3. Let's get the ship back in order here and get the house back in order before we go to Vandy and Missouri. And that's two tough games. Missouri's playing well, especially at home. Huh?
Yeah, Oklahoma beat Vanderbilt.
Yes, they did.
And almost blew it. So you really can't take their games off, but you really can't take any of them off. Today should be a blowout. LSU's awful, and then that Oklahoma game should be one too. But, they went to Mississippi State, and Josh Hubbard had 20-something points in the first half.
He's a player.
And made it
He's
interesting.
a really good player.
And then they, like I said, they let Mississippi State go on that 18-0 run and didn't score at all in the second half. So you can't even really, take games off and let your freshmen run because you almost let them back in the game. So it should be your games off, but Tennessee's already made the first one difficult. So hopefully they don't mess around with LSU and just put them out of their misery pretty early.
Mississippi State had an 18-0 run
In the second half, yeah.
Wow. You don't hear that very often.
Tennessee had pulled it was just Tennessee didn't score for a very
So
long
you
time.
didn't go to Mississippi State, though.
No, I did not go to
So
start.
the
That's where I draw the line.
The common
Start there.
denominator for Tennessee these past few games is that Caleb went to the game and they didn't do well.
It's amazing how Marcus can figure these things out just like that.
Hey, that is true. They let up the run, but they didn't lose. So
Tony, when you give up 18-0 run, that's what you call going into the valley.
Yes. And
Going into the valley.
most likely you're not coming back out. You are stuck in the valley.
It's a little dark down there.
Yeah. And it's not the valley of learning.
Hey, Tony, I got you here. Oklahoma and Texas came into the league, and I was excited because not only for football, everybody was excited for football, but I was excited for basketball because Oklahoma's had some really good basketball teams out there.
Sure they have.
And Texas too. And I thought, well, this is going to make the league stronger. But Texas and Oklahoma have struggled.
Yeah.
They've struggled in basketball, and they struggled a little bit in football, but they've got that kind of worked out, the last few years. But it's just surprising that they came in and haven't done as well.
And you're right. The view of everything was, boy, we got now Oklahoma football and Texas football coming in, but the basketball programs have been fairly strong programs.
Yeah.
And but they just have not lived up to any really expectations coming into the SEC.
Yeah. Caleb, let's talk a little bit about bracketology. It seems like every time I look at bracketology, they got Tennessee in a different region.
Yeah,
they've been in the West, they've been in the East, and now he's got them in the Midwest at Philadelphia. And I don't know whether this would be a good draw or not. They got Tennessee as a 6th seed right now, playing the 11th seed, and that 11th seed is Miami of Ohio. And best of my recollection, they have not lost a basketball game.
Wow,
is that right, Caleb?
Yeah,
I think I'm right, aren't I?
They were playing really good basketball. We know how Tennessee looks against 11 seeds who are good little teams that aren't respected. So the history there is not good for the Vols.
And that's an interesting story because one of the great coaches here at Tennessee, if that materialized, graduated from Miami of Ohio. My coach, Ray Mears.
That's right.
Graduated.
Cradle of coaches.
Yeah,
Miami of
Era
Ohio.
Parsegian and go on.
Football.
Did Woody Hayes go to
Woody
Ohio?
Hayes went there. Yeah. Era Parsegian. Bo Schembechler was there.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
That's Coach U, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a training ground. The training ground. And
Roethlisberger, that's where he played.
Got to get out here. But if they beat, if they were to beat Miami of Ohio and this bracket holds, they would have to play the winner of number 3 Michigan State and number 14 ETSU. If that's Michigan State, that's a pretty tough bracket right there.
Yeah, Michigan State looked awful last night, but Tom Izzo in March is not something you want to bet against. And the Spartans this year have played really good and played really bad, but one of the best coaches in
Wisconsin
the country.
beat them pretty bad the other night.
Yeah, that was rough. But, that's not a team you want to face in March. But like you said earlier, Tennessee has all the you got Alabama and 2 Vanderbilts to up your stock and try to raise that seed line or to fold and fall down some more seed lines.
Yeah, you could end up at 8 or 9
and you'll get
10.
At least 1 or 2 SEC tournament games too. So you got a chance to maybe move up into a 5 or a 4 and make it easier on yourself, but they could easily end up down at the 8-9 line.
Yeah, and that's in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's the Midwest.
That's Midwest and Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's.
Wait.
I have not looked at the geographic map.
How did they figure that?
Midwest and Philadelphia.
I don't know.
Who the heck?
I don't. West Philadelphia. They're playing over in the west.
There we go. West Philly.
East of Philadelphia is Atlantic. How is that the Midwest?
I don't have any.
I don't know.
I don't have any. The NCAA.
I know. Don't even get me started.
They're just
on
a
it.
little bit confused right now.
A bunch of geeks over there.
Yeah.
Gosh,
They got other fish to fry.
Hey, we'll take a timeout here, and when we return, Donnie Moore will provide high school basketball scores from around the area and some other news, and veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons will join us with his feature Mark It Down. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Oh, welcome back to the GoTeez Sports page. Donnie Moore, we had basketball going on Thursday night and basketball going on Friday night.
Yeah.
Kind of mixed up here this week.
We got all kinds of happenings going on.
Yeah, and it's getting pretty close to tournament time, too, isn't
It's
it?
getting closer all the
Yeah,
time.
Next week,
Sure
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
best time of the year.
Let's get cranked up with the Mandy B Street Realty Local Focus today. Start off with prep basketball. A couple of games held Thursday night this week. Alcoa versus Webb, and Alcoa girls dominated this one, scoring 76 points versus Webb's 64. And didn't you say Webb was ranked, Marcus?
I believe
Yeah,
Webb was
Webb-
number 2 in Division 2.
Webb is really good and blew out Alcoa in December
Yes.
at home. So good to see them get that win.
Yeah.
That
was a good
Alcoa
win.
girls basketball team now, Johnny Morgan's not down at Men's Central any longer.
That's right.
And they're not as strong as they've been in the past. Is this the year that the Alcoa girls move on to state?
Could be. Could be. I wouldn't be
Marcus,
surprised.
who's tough
Good
in
talent.
their area?
Webb is number 1 in 2AA for
Yeah.
girls.
And Caleb, yeah.
So that with the new regions, it's really kind of, we'll see, because you don't. I mean, some of these regions are so small, you don't. It's hard to gauge what's going to happen and how
That's
it's
true.
going to.
The way they're made up.
Yeah, how it's going to stack out, because a lot of it's going to depend on who's at home and who's away, because some of these teams are just very, very even. But we'll see. Alcoa's path isn't easier than it's been. There's no easy path through.
No, I mean the Clinton girls right now are 25-2,
Yeah.
and they'd have to play
Goodness.
at some point. Upperman is good on the girls' side.
So the road's pretty tough. They got a
the
tough
Cott
road.
County girls are 25-3. So
Yeah.
You're going to have to beat somebody,
Yep.
a couple somebodies who are very good to get to state. No, and it doesn't matter what class
Yeah.
you're playing in. That's going to be the way it is.
Well, moving on to the boys' contest, Webb wins this one fairly easily against the Tornadoes, 78-53.
Wow, is that a surprise?
I think the Webb boys are probably the best team in the state.
Is that right?
They're 27. They're 27-2, and former Maryville guard Braden Hazelbaker went over there, and they've got one kid going to Alabama Huntsville, another kid signed D1. Actually, the son of Brian Lentz, one of the Tennessee's assistant coaches, is over there playing as well. So they got a really good squad.
Are they giving NIL money over there?
Oh, you know they are.
Tony, you know anything about that? That's a private school over there.
Yeah, that's all you got to say.
I'm just asking. I don't know, but
Hey, I tell you what, the stuff you're seeing in the colleges are trying to catch up to the high schools right now, and there's a little.
Okay.
thing
Whatever
going
they got going at
All
Webb for basketball
All
is
right.
working. So
all right, we'll put Donnie Moore on that next week.
All right,
That's
Donnie.
right. We'll try to get that figured out by next week. Moving on to the boys' contest, 78-53 Webb, like we said. Another game that was held Thursday night this week was Eagleton hosting Sequoia. And I have a girls' score on that. Could not find a boys' score anywhere, so they're not reporting scores very
you
well.
talk to their SID people over there.
Yeah, no kidding. I need to get a phone number. Anyway, Sequoia wins this one against Eagleton 49-18.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You used to say if they weren't reporting, They lost.
They lost. There you go. Well,
Yeah, that's
probably what happened.
That could have been.
But we don't know.
Yeah.
Moving on to games that were last night around the area. Greenback hosted Harriman, and Greenback took 2 on the chin last night.
Oh.
Yeah, on the chin. On the chin.
He said
I was getting excited right there, Donnie. You're going to have to be quicker. You're going to have to be quicker than that. Coach Iruli and I was getting ready to jump up and
I
down.
was about to do the
Took 2 on the chin, 62-29 in the girls' game, and then in the boys' 54-44. So at least it was respectable, the score in the boys' contest. Heritage hosted Powell last night, and Heritage took 2. Not on the chin. Took 2. Took 2.
Yeah, notice how quiet we were there.
We're
going to wait on that one.
You guys smarted up right there, didn't you?
Good.
That's it was 46-31 in the girls' contest in favor of the Lady Mountaineers, and 73-63 in the boys' contest.
And both those boys and girls are having good years.
They
over
are.
there.
They're having great years. Sure
It
are.
sounds like Heritage is beginning to put the pieces together after the injuries and finding out that new rotation a little bit.
Yeah, they're starting to figure out their roles on the girls' side and the boys' side. Are starting to get some of those role players to step up, and because you'll get probably 30 from Eli Williams and 20 from Gavin French, and you need those other guys to, like Rhett Hall and some of those other guys to step up. And
Didn't Eli hit 2,000 this week?
Yes, he
He
did.
was honored. He's over
Really?
2,100 now, but he was honored for 2,000 last night against Powell, and he's that all-time scorer, leading scorer at Heritage, and he's got, probably put another 100 or 200 with how he's been playing and
wouldn't be
some other
surprised.
games. But
Not
he
at
kept
all.
his family kept a spreadsheet of what he'd have to average to get that scoring title, and he blew it out of the water.
He sure did.
But
He sure
yeah,
did.
those teams.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We don't
There's
have it on
Eli.
the scoreboard from last night, but the Heritage Maryville girls game earlier this week that went to overtime, that was
Heritage.
that was a great rivalry game that
Yeah.
we saw.
I bet it was.
Heritage, Shiny Morris actually came in and hit 11 to 12 free throws in overtime. So when Maryville was looking for somebody to foul, chose her, and she started hitting free throws. So,
Made the wrong choice. Huh?
and they took that one at Maryville too, which
Oh,
was a
boy.
big win for them.
Well, last night, Maryville traveled to Jefferson County to play, in Tony's old stomping grounds up there.
That's right.
neck
There
of
you
the
go.
woods.
Welcome to Jefferson County.
Jefferson County, that's right.
Hopefully
so
they have water up there now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right.
Girls game was won by the Lady Rebels, 59-41, and then in the boys contest, 51 for Maryville, 30 for Jefferson County.
And let's say that was-
Maryville wins too.
We had the Lady Rebels in here last week, but that was the 4th game in 6 days for Maryville.
Yeah.
And a
Good
district
grief.
game for them as
Yes.
they're trying
So,
to jockey for
The
position.
girls went 2-2. They did not win that game against Sevier County to start the week, and they had the overtime loss to Heritage we were mentioning, but they beat West and then they beat Jeff County. So they're pretty much, I think they're pretty much locked up as the 2 seed behind Sevier County. So that's going to be what it comes down to as to who's going to get a little bit of an edge at region.
On the girls' side, they've got the 2, and then Maryville won that regular season region on the boys' side, so they've got the 1 seed locked up.
Good.
So that 4-team regional will play a district tournament.
Yep.
Just to probably pan out the results we already know next week, and if everything holds serve, then both the Rebels and Lady Rebels will be playing at home in region tournament games.
Yeah, not too shabby. Seymour hosted a flock of roadrunners last night. Austin East came to town, and Seymour took a couple from Austin East.
Wow.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Seymour 58-56 in the girls' game, so that was a tight contest. And then in the boys' game, still tight, 50-45 from Seymour. So
People got their money's worth over
yeah.
there.
they
Big-
sure
big
did.
games,
They
big
saw
games.
two good games right there. And then William Blount hosted Sevier County, and that's usually spells trouble right there, doesn't it? When Sevier County comes.
I think
or
they
you go
played
up
here,
there.
though. I think they played here.
It was
Yeah.
at William Blount. 63-26 in the girls' game in favor of Sevier County, and then in the boys' game, Sevier County pulls one out 59-57 against the Govs.
Wow. And that boys' team at William Blount, about 500.
Yeah,
About 500 there. They've had some good wins, and
they have.
they've held serve.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah,
sometimes,
exactly.
Tony, I've talked about this before. Sometimes the best coaching jobs are those guys that are around 500. Don't you?
Yeah,
Have you ever noticed that, or you feel that way?
Absolutely, because
You always people look at the top teams, but if you look at those 500 teams down toward the end of the year, whatever.
Yep.
they're-
Usually the preseason ranked even lower.
Yes.
And for them to get to
Yes.
500,
That's
that's a great.
pretty good year.
Sure,
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
good year
exactly
for 'em.
right.
Yeah.
Sure is. Another couple of things I want to mention right here, one in particular, was that our old buddy Gary Rankin from Alcoa and lately of Boyd Buchanan in Chattanooga stepped down, resigned, didn't retire from coaching, just retired from being at Boyd Buchanan.
Yeah.
He says he's going to coach again.
So what's that all about?
Well, health issues were his main reason that he gave anyway. So
So you feel like he's going to step away and just kind of for a year and maybe just kind
I
of
think so. I think
get recharged up?
somebody will come calling.
Quick!
Yeah.
I promise you. Yeah.
Quick!
Yeah.
The Times Free Press article said.
You know, if it's health, he better get well pretty quick because somebody's going to be a calling.
The Times Free Press article, Rankin said, he's not retiring
Right.
if something comes open, but he said he's also fine if he never coaches again.
Yeah.
So maybe he does retire, maybe he doesn't. It sounds to me like if the right opportunity comes around, he'll coach, but otherwise he's fine spending times with the grandkids.
It would have to be a perfect fit for him to coach
Yeah.
again, I think.
Well, initially when he went down there, his son was like the strength coach.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's still
at
he's still
and
director
so
or something
that
down there.
kind of motivated him to go. He wanted to be able to coach with his son and share the same place but I tell you what, anytime there's an opening, if someone doesn't mention Gary Rankin as a possibility. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah.
They've not been around football much.
No.
If that's the case.
And
Go ahead,
remember,
Marcus.
We'll go ahead and start the rumor now that he's going to join GQ staff at Webb.
Could you imagine?
Oh, man.
Let's start the rumor mill on that.
Yeah. Is he
Goodness.
from around that area over there where he's at?
He's
He's from Carthage.
he's Middleton.
Middle Tennessee area.
Is that near where he's at? I don't know.
No, he's
Not-
down at
not
Chattanooga
particular.
now.
But
He's
his son was coaching there, and then his grandson was kicking at UTC, right?
I think
So
you're
it
right.
all made sense for him to
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
that Chattanooga area.
Zeke.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
former Mr. Kicker of the year.
You better believe it. Marcus, got anything else for locally motivated that you want to throw in here?
Well, I will toss in there that I had another message. The Blount County Sports Hall of Fame, they've opened nominations this week.
Right.
If you go to the parksandrec.com website, you can get to the form and make nominations. And don't be shy about it. I mean,
No,
there are a lot
I
of great athletes who have not been put into the hall yet, and
Sure.
they are very open to nominations, and they take the time to go through them.
They do.
So
They consider each and every one of them.
if you've been around and you're thinking about, I played with so and so, and look and see if they actually got in, because there's a lot of good players that are still out there that just need to be nominated.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah. Hey, another thing I want to mention real quick.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Is that last weekend they had the 150-year celebration of Maryville College baseball.
Yes.
And what a great event that was. I mean,
How
it was
cool
so
is that?
well organized. I forget his name, the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Pat Murphy.
Pat Murphy, he was a coach there, and we had a lot of people come up and gave good talks. I even got my cousin Joe Girardi to say a few words about it. But what a well-organized celebration of 150 years of Maryville College baseball. Glenn Doig spoke, who's a longtime pitcher and player there, and it was just a great celebration. Great to see a lot of Earl McMahon was there, and seeing a lot of the former great players there. But I just want to congratulate Maryville College on really putting together a very special celebration.
Was Earl the only one there from the first team?
I was on the second team, so Earl was. But I tell you what, they showed some pictures of Earls from that mid '70s team. I mean, it looked like the one of those bands from the 1975s, the Doobie Brothers or whatever like that. They had the long hair and the stashes going on, and so it was a great. A lot of really good pictures. But I want to congratulate Maryville College for really putting this thing together.
While we're talking Scots, too, the men's basketball team clinched another regular season title last night in their final season in the Collegiate Conference of the South. So they'll host another tournament and look for postseason berth and try to get into the NCAA tournament.
Hope they do.
Yeah.
Undefeated in conference play this
Yeah,
year.
let me say, Raul Placeres, I mean, I tell you what, he is an outstanding coach.
He is.
And as long as they keep him there at Maryville College, that's a big benefit. But he's a high-quality coach and does a great job. And to win a championship for 6 years in a row and does a great job recruiting, I mean, he's a high-class individual, and so congratulations to him as well.
Only 4 programs in the last 20 years have won 6 regular season titles in a row. Kansas, Gonzaga, Northwest Missouri State, and Maryville College.
Wow.
Not bad.
And you know those
Good company
the
right there.
rules for them to get into the NCAA tournament has always been a little stringent. I think. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they-
Oh, yeah,
they've
definitely.
had teams that
In
really,
every Division III sport.
really deserve to be in the NCAA tournament that hadn't got to go
True.
because of the way it's set up.
Well, I always thought that in Division III, I always think there's a bias towards Southern teams. I mean, when you look
Against Southern teams.
against Southern teams,
Northern
absolutely.
bias, yeah.
I mean, you would see in regions 5-6 Northern teams get in the Division III playoffs, and you would see maybe one team in a region, you know, where a team might won the conference championship but lost in their conference playoffs, and all of a sudden they're out.
Yeah.
But they only bring in one team and all that.
And-
They're very stringent with the at-large bids, and there's
I think that-
actually
yeah.
there was a formula in D3, and to a degree in D2, but really in D3 where you had Pool B and Pool C at-large bids that were trying to even things out, and finally they expanded. You know, because for a while there we weren't even playing with full 64 teams because of that.
Yeah.
Had like weird numbers based on the number of conferences and all this. But it's sort of evened out, but still you don't see very many at-large bids go to the South region.
I totally agree.
And to get around that, too, Coach Placeres, the past 3 years when they've been getting hit with this, like Mike said, last year had a very good team.
Exactly.
And Chase Morgan, their leading scorer, twists his ankle the day before the championship, and they lose by 1. The past few years, he's scheduled tournaments in Chicago, scheduled tournaments at Emory and Henry. They're going north to try to get in front of the eyes of the D3 committee and beat some of those northern teams that always get those bids. So when the postseason comes around, if for some reason something happens to Maryville, those voters and guys on the committee saw Maryville early in the year, and, you know, maybe Maryville picks up wins against those northern teams that the bias usually does go towards.
Yeah.
A lot of schools that are way bigger than Maryville College, too, and public schools that get a lot of those bids in the north.
They do. Yeah.
Let me go back real quick to even when I played football my junior year, we were 8-1. The only team we lost to was to Evansville, which was a Division II school, and we finished like 8th or 9th in the country and didn't get into the playoffs in Division III. I mean, so there's
Amazing.
Yeah. So there's always a
Was
bias.
that Evansville, Indiana?
Yeah.
Well, them Indiana schools will do it to you, Tony. I'm sorry.
I can't believe I'm saying
They're Purple Aces.
Purple Aces,
Evansville.
that's right.
You just needed to make a few more tackles that day.
Hold me back. No, and we lost them. You know what? The score was 3-0. We lost them 3-0.
Oh, my.
So you did your job.
But
Yeah.
Needed
The
some
defense-
points.
That needed some points and all that. But that was the only game we lost, and we did not get into the
Wow.
Division III
That's
playoffs.
crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, that'll do it for the Mandy B. Street Realty Local Focus segment for the week. If you need real estate, anything concerning real estate, see our friend Mandy B. Street. She'll take care of you with a smile.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sounds good.
Exactly. And now I'm going to slide the rock. Slide the rock
We're going to mark it down with Mike.
over to Mike, and Mike, you take your broom
All
and
right.
sweep in front
All
of
right.
it so it'll curl.
We'll do that.
All right.
We'll do that.
You're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM Mid-Century Radio. Mike?
I got a few things on the Vol news. Joey Aguilar. Joey Aguilar was in the courtroom yesterday trying to get another year of eligibility. Quarterback the Vols and Tony Iruli, they went through that yesterday and no ruling.
Well,
No ruling.
I mean, so when are they supposed to make a final decision?
I don't know.
Well, Monday's a holiday, so it'd have to be Tuesday at the
Yeah, it
earliest,
will
right?
have to be. Yeah.
So they're getting a ruling, and they had to go to court in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, to judge on whether their quarterback's going to come back
Yeah,
and play another.
I just,
I mean,
It'd be hard to be impartial if
I
you're
just
the judge,
don't
wouldn't it?
understand how hard it is. If you've had 4 years of eligibility, I don't care where it's at. That ought to be it. That's the way it was in the old days. You went to junior college 2 years. You had 2 years in
2 years left.
major college or wherever you
That's right.
went from junior college. Now, if you go to junior college, we don't want that to count, or so forth and so on. I can understand an injury. If somebody's had an injury and didn't play,
And that's what happened in the Ole Miss quarterback.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Their quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, he's been granted an extra year of eligibility, and of course they all promote kind of the same thing. It's going to hurt them if they don't get this other year of eligibility, and monetarily, this is going to hurt them, and they throw all that out there. This will be his 6th year. Tony,
That's right.
This will be his 6th year, Trinidad, and out west, Montana, was it Montana or Montana State? Somebody
ninth. I
his
just pulled it up.
There you go. You're
I
ahead
just
of me.
pulled it up.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the name. Solomon.
Tulalapogo.
We'll put Donnie on that.
26 years old.
26-year-old, 9th year.
Granted his 9th year.
His 9th
What?
year.
Excuse
Golly.
me. Who the hell's in charge?
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Nobody.
No one
Right.
is. There
Well,
are no rules.
Joey Aguilar started college in 2019.
Good.
Yeah.
29. I mean,
Yeah,
he could be a grandparent by now.
listen, I understand the injury part of it. To a certain extent.
Yep.
Yeah.
But saying I went to junior college, I should have another year. I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know.
I'm not buying that. But what's happening here, and Tony, you can correct me here if you're wrong. These state courts are getting involved, and if you're got a player from Mississippi and you're in a Mississippi state court, I would think that would be a certain advantage for you.
I would
and
think.
if you're trying to get a Tennessee player back eligible, and it's in a Tennessee court, I would think that. There's
First
some
of all,
partiality
it
bar
wasn't
there.
in a Tennessee court. It was in a Knoxville court.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
3 blocks away from the.
Yes.
Here's something funny for you, Mike. So the NCAA lawyer yesterday who was going against Joey Aguilar, Tennessee graduate and season ticket holder. The judge, Tennessee graduate and season ticket holder. Joey Aguilar's counsel had a Tennessee graduate there as well. So there's Tennessee graduates all around. And it's funny because at every step, the NCAA's lawyer is like, man, we loved the Vols and we loved you, Joey, but we can't stand for this to happen. And I was interested to hear too. A lot of these court cases for what they need to get the irreparable harm to throw all the terms around, but basically they need to show that Joey would be more harmed by not playing than the NCAA would be harmed by playing him. And the NCAA's lawyers went down Tennessee's whole schedule next year, listed every opponent, and asked the judge, if Joey plays next year, are these teams not being harmed by him playing an extra year? Like Furman or Georgia Tech next year, you don't think they would be a little upset if Joey Aguilar runs out for another year? So we'll get a ruling next week. And
Oh, yeah.
I will be very disappointed. I just think in his particular case, he had the 2 years in junior college. That was his decision to go to junior. Wait a minute, that was his decision to go to junior college. He could have gone somewhere else. But he went to junior college, and he played well enough to be able to go to Appalachian State.
Yeah.
He played well enough in the junior college. It wasn't like he was, he didn't benefit from his junior college experience. He got to go on, and in at Appalachian State, he was able to go on to play
2 years at Appalachian State.
Yes, and go on to Tennessee. As far as I'm concerned, I can't see
And the
this.
junior colleges are associated with the
can't see it.
NCAA.
Yeah, I can't.
All right, so that's always accounts. And usually when they go to junior colleges, is because they're not good enough to go because they have low grades coming out of high school.
Either academics.
That's the reason why good players just don't go to the junior colleges because that's where they want to go. What happens is their SATs are too low or their GPAs are too low where they can't get into a regular division, major college school or whatever.
I'm tired of hearing this crap. I played 3 years, and I didn't get to play my freshman year.
That's
I was at the same school, and I got cheated out of that year. I want it back. I want that year back.
You
you got another year eligibility.
And listen,
Mike.
I'm willing to
Sue the NCAA,
I'm
Mike.
willing to settle out of court for the right monetary amount.
Absolutely.
Sue the NCAA.
Hey, in Alabama now, they had a guy that played professional in the G League, and they brought him back for like, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Or something
And then
like
he was ruled ineligible.
And
Then he was rolling out.
being not able to play that freshman year, it has caused irreparable mental harm to me because every time I see somebody's statistics that's played 4 years compared to 3 years, I just can't handle it. I've got to go talk to somebody.
And we notice it, too. It's affecting me, too. I got to get counseling.
Mike, imagine
I just want
imagine
some,
the NIL money you can make.
I want some love. I want some love.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
How much NIL money?
I don't know, but if there's a lawyer out there, would you please give me a call, and we'll talk about it here on the sports page or whatever.
All he wants is to be acknowledged.
I want my year back.
That's right.
I want my year back, and
someone called Joey Aguilar's a lawyer.
Yeah,
he'd take care of you.
He might be a little too expensive for you, Mike. He represented Trump last year. So
hey, before we get going, I got one more item right here that I was just made aware of.
Well, we're on a roll right now.
From Hall of Famer, Sports Page Hall of Famer Charlie Paleo.
Okay.
He said that John Reed has retired from Rome High School here in Georgia. He's a two-time state champion at Rome, also a state champion when he was at Alcoa, and a good coach when he was also. He didn't have a whole lot to work with sometimes, but when he was at William Blount. So congratulations to John Reed for a great career.
Absolutely.
And he can join a sports page
Yeah,
broadcast.
come on back up, John. We'll put you up. We'll put you behind
or
the mic.
down there in Rome or wherever.
Exactly.
Phone in.
Yeah.
But thanks to Charlie for that bit of information right there.
So Charlie listens in on our shows.
He does. Yeah.
I tell you what, that really increases our Georgia audience pretty good.
I know. Yeah. No,
He's really struggling with life right now.
He just truly misses us. And he misses Ray Trail too as well. I mean,
well, we all miss Ray Trail
and
Lonnie Herdman. We miss both those guys.
Absolutely.
I'd rather have Charlie listening than the billion people in China who aren't.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where are we at on time, Donnie?
We got what left? It's about time for a break right now.
Okay.
Good call.
All right.
The internal clock.
All right. Hey, it's time to turn the page, and next up is the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment with Marcus Fitzsimmons, and he's going to talk a little bit about bowling.
Good deal.
You're listening to the GoTeez Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew, and now it's time for the GoTeez Sports Page Player of the Week segment featuring senior reporter Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority. Proudly serving Blount County for over 100 years. And Marcus Fitzsimmons, you got bowling in here this morning. Before we get started, what kind of bowler were you? Throw a lot of gutter balls or strikes, or
I barely got past the granny ball stage of rolling it down the aisle.
I've seen him in the bowling alley with us several times over the years covering the sport. I've never seen him play, though.
And you keep your players as far away from him as you possibly can.
That's why he is a coach that's been to the state tournament, because he knows what to do.
There you go. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're joined this morning by the Heritage Girls bowling team. Made the state tournament trip, and despite some of the people that got confused, they were bowling ended up with Hardin County, not Hardin Valley.
Yeah.
So,
I would have rather bowled Hardin Valley.
No kidding.
but I think 5 or 6 time state champion there y'all ran into in the state tournament. But Coach, great season for this team.
Had a wonderful season. We were rebuilding a little bit, losing a few players last year. We came in to the season with 6 starters, looking for another player everywhere in the building. And we had one, this young lady here with us, Miss Brooke Janot. She sat with us and came and cheered us on and was there a lot during the season, but didn't start bowling till the end of the season. We couldn't convince her to get out there and learn the game until January.
Wow.
Brooke, why did it take so long? I'm going to put you on the spot in front of everybody.
I don't know. I was just kind of nervous. Didn't know what to do.
She was,
Didn't know. It seems pretty straightforward. There's 10 pins at the end of the lane. And
Knock them all down.
that's about as far as I go with it.
yeah, we had 6 starters, and in January we lost 2 of our 6 starters to early graduation.
Oh, really? Okay.
TSSAA rules. You know, you can graduate in May and still play in the spring fling, still play in the softball tournament, still play in the baseball tournament. In January, however, a new semester rolls over. And when that new semester rolls over, our 2 early graduates were ineligible. And that's when Brooke showed up. Brooke came in and started practicing with us, her and another young lady named Emma Lonis. And we went from 6 starters to 4 bowlers, and then back to 6 bowlers. And those 2 girls bowled absolutely great through the state tournament.
Nice.
And the other young lady over here with us is Miss Emma Wyatt. Emma was our recruiter. Emma's who drug Brooke to bowling practice every day. And once she got there, Brooke worked amazing. She would bowl in 2 and 3 hour stints, just practicing and listening to everything we threw at her. Our assistant coach, his name's Mr. Chris Walker. He's bowling in a tournament over at Crest right now while we're doing this interview. And Chris is an excellent teacher of the game.
Isn't it nice to have players who are coachable?
Well, that's
And I assume that's what these ladies are. Yeah.
That's the 2 I have here with me. They work great. Emma had an early dismissal last semester, and Emma would come by and say, "Hey, I've got an extra hour today. Do you want to go practice?" And Emma and I would go to the bowling alley, and we'd get in an extra hour, and then she'd go do whatever she had to do. And that's wonderful. When you got kids that want to show up, that will show up and will listen and practice when you're there, you can teach them about anything.
Yeah. Coach, that seems like a bad rule to me, you know, that you have these girls perform for you. And from an academic standpoint, I assume that they worked hard to graduate early. You would think that would count for something and then be able to go on over and at least complete the year that they were involved with when they were academically in standing. I don't get it. I don't get that rule. Does somebody need to look at that? Or that doesn't seem fair to me.
Well,
me either.
No, I'm saying.
Well,
I know
if bowling's
you're
divided, like you all are still the only sport that's your postseason's on the other side of the holiday break, right?
Wrestling spans the break too, I understand, and that's part of the problem. We petitioned TSSAA and called and talked to them and tried to get the 2 girls ruled eligible to bowl in the tournament, and wrestling was something that they gave back to us as another example that has the same issue. I agree. I think it's a terrible rule. The 2 young ladies that early graduated for us both had scholarships with Tennessee School of Beauty, and both went from an academic environment in high school to an academic environment at Tennessee School of Beauty, and they didn't need 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months. They needed 8 hours. You know, that's less than 10 hours of bowling separated their season from the state championship. Wow. And both good bowlers, you know, both good kids. And we let them make the decision. We talked to them about re-enrolling and staying eligible, but we didn't try to sway the 2 of them. I mean, they both had opportunities to go on and continue their education. So, you know, we're proud of them for what they did, graduating early. It just, I don't like the rule.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Well, let's hit your recruiter up and see what was the pitch, Emma? How do you go out and get people to come out and bowl?
Yeah.
And how do you sell it?
Well, so whenever we would go to the bowling alley, we would always have food. And so
There
it's
you
free
go.
food pretty much.
You know, it's a tried but true trick. I'm glad it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once
we
you-
got free food up here after the show. You know, that free food will do wonders for you, huh?
Yeah, it will.
Once you get them over there, get them over to Crest Lanes, and they see what it is, do you have to keep? How hard do you have to work to keep them from running out the door after the first time they get a blister or get that hand messed up a little bit and it's sore, and they're like, oh.
It's not really that hard. I mean, people, like, we have a good group of girls. Everybody's friends, and so it's just like hanging out with your friends. So, I mean, everybody has a good time.
So do most of the team bowling in like the youth league at Crest still, or is that something that still goes on, or is it just in high school that you all bowl?
A few of them are. I'm not, but there's like 3 or 4 of us that are still bowling over there.
Yeah, we have 5, counting boys and girls. We have 5 bowling in the youth league now. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when our teams were so good, we had 8, 10, 12 kids bowling in the youth league. It's a great place for them to go and start and work on their skills. Tell them about your finger. Tell them about your war wound in Smyrna.
So
We got a good story. I love it when coaches rat you all out. Come on, tell us.
the night before the second day of the tournament, we had gone to a big dinner, and so we were just like going to hang out at the end. Like at the end of the night, we were going downstairs to hang out with everybody, and my nail came completely off.
Now, you all can't see it on the radio, but she has beautiful fingernails. Y'all ought to see this. And she ripped one of them off completely down to the quick, and it was bleeding. And we had to super glue her finger and super glue the fingernail back on to stop the bleeding the night before she had to bowl again.
Good grief.
That was not a good experience for her.
Now, was there a team trainer to handle that, Coach, or were you having to do nail surgery by the super glue by yourself?
Chris did that. Our other coach did that. We all sat and talked to her and tried to distract her. She wasn't exceptionally happy when the super glue hit and it started burning, but a few minutes later things were better. We didn't have to dial 911 or anything, but Emma wasn't thrilled with our technique for fixing the problem.
But she's okay about it now.
Yeah, it
Okay.
didn't hurt. It didn't hurt then. I got over it.
Okay. So, Brooke, if we put you on the spot, how did they flip you? How did they get you to go ahead and fill the spot and take that chance?
They were just kind of like, we need someone. You need to learn how to bowl, basically. So then I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Well, that's a tough ask because you're not like it's not like you're going in to learn the sport and have a whole preseason and regular season. You're basically having to step in and, yeah, your first match is going to be postseason tournament play. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It was literally, and to put it in perspective, Emma bowled 38, 39 games this season, individual full games, okay? Brooke, bowling in the Final Four in the state tournament, is on games 7 and 8. When I would tell people in the regional tournament, in the sectional tournament, in the state tournament, when I told Hardin County's coach in the Final Four, I said, one of the girls in front of you is bowling game number 7 today. Tell me which one it is. And they couldn't tell me which one of the kids it was. If we could find 6 kids like this that practice as hard as she did for 6 days, we'd have a legitimate shot of going back over and over and over again. I can't explain to you the amount of work Brooke put in 2 weeks.
So, Emma, you have a mission for the last semester of school. Coach has just given it to you. You need to go out and recruit a whole new set of bowlers for Heritage before you leave. Can you do that?
I tried.
Okay.
But
We've got 2 girls coming back off the group that went to Smyrna. The others are unfortunately graduating for us. Great for them, bad for the bowling team.
Right.
But we've got a young lady named Keely Staley coming back that's an excellent bowler. We've got a young lady named Carly Smith coming back. Both of them bowled over 200 in the Final Four.
Nice.
We have a foundation. We just need 4 more kids. Our boys team does too. So if anybody out there is listening's got grandkids or kids that aren't participating in a sport, call us. We'll teach them how to bowl. Any of you got eligibility left in high school?
Mike's
Only
pushing
college.
for
I have
college.
1 year left in college.
Okay.
I'm trying to get that back. I'm not having very much success with it.
For the NIL deals out there today, I understand why you're trying to get your gear back.
Yeah, Mike goes back to that day when freshmen weren't allowed to play varsity in college.
Yeah.
So he
UT.
wants that year back. And now that don't hold that pro time against you, apparently, that opens the door for him to be back at UT.
Exactly.
But I guess what was the outside of the fingernail? What was the state tournament experience like? Because if you get to stay the second day, it's a lot more fun than if you went up there and have to turn around and drop back.
It was very stressful that first day. The first game we had it wasn't till that afternoon, so the stress had just built up, and it was a very, very close game, and we were just trying to get through it. And then once we made it to the second day, we were promised steak that night, and so we made it to the second day and got our steak, and we were just happy to make it as far as we did.
Was it a bonding experience, especially if you're bringing in 2 new players? Was there a lot of bonding going on there that first night or so?
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess, Coach, I'll put this to you, and the girls can chime in too. We were talking about this while you all were going down there. Is Crest Lanes is for bowling is a huge resource for all the schools here to still have a bowling alley here. And we were talking about just how strong the programs are in Blount County, and in Sevier County they've got the community center over there, both of them, GP and Sevierville.
Oh, they've got 3. They've got one Pigeon Forge as well.
Yeah. So it's like this little area, you've got more bowling alleys between those 2 counties than almost the rest of the region combined in some ways.
Well, first off, without Crest Lanes, we don't have bowling in Blount County.
Right.
Crest is serving 4 or 5 different high schools. They serve a youth league. They do unified bowling now, where they work with special ed kids and get them involved in bowling across the state. Kelly and her family, the ownership of Crest, supports our kids in ways that nobody in the county sees. If your kid bowls at Bearden and they go to the bowling alley in Knoxville to bowl, it costs their team $60 to bowl for practice. Wow. They pay per game. Now, I've been coaching since 2009. Crest has supported bowling in Blount County since 2009 and doesn't charge Heritage, Maryville, William Blount, doesn't charge Kings Academy to my knowledge. They let us come in and out and practice with our kids. We have matches. They provide shoes. They don't charge us rental for those. Crest is the reason we have bowling in Blount County. Sure. The ownership is great to our kids.
And it's been there a long time, Coach, hasn't it? Crest Lanes has been there.
Crest has been there. My understanding is since the 1960s.
Yeah.
Larry Green, the gentleman that used to help me coach at Heritage years ago, was there and bowling there when he was a younger man. And that's how I know the history of Crest. My knowledge personally goes back to about 1982 when I started going there, but at 10 years old. So,
goodness.
So, and this is where we told you it was going to get hard. So I'm going to, and I'll pick on you first. When you go up, you come back and you don't have a strike, but you look up there. What is the one you're most confident you can pick up that spare on? What configuration you're like, I can get this. That's not a problem.
Okay, before the state tournament, it was my 10-pin because that was just the easiest for me. And then during the state tournament, I had no idea what to do with any spare that I got. But my 10-pin's probably the easiest for me to get.
And, Brooke, have you gotten to that point?
Yes, it took me a minute because I had no idea what the 10-pin was, but I got it. So, I like the 7-pin more. I think it's easier. But
all right, so I'm going to chime in here. They're both right-handed bowlers. For the right-handed bowler, the 10-pin is the hardest one to hit angle-wise and direction-wise because of the rotation on the ball. So Brooke shooting a 7-pin is easier for her than her shooting a 10-pin. Emma is a right-handed bowler, throws a backup ball at the 10-pin. So she throws a shot at her 10-pin that rotates like a left-handed bowler, so it hooks naturally into it. And the difference in her in league and in common matches versus the state tournament was the oil pattern and the state sports shot. The state sports shot really messed with her, and the fingernail that she ripped off. The fingernail she ripped off is one of the 2 fingers inside the bowling ball that's taking all that torque and twisting and snapping on those rubber finger holes when she's throwing the ball. And we wrapped it with a more metallic tape, a stronger tape to protect her finger. And that made a little bit of difference in her getting in and out of her bowling ball the way she wanted to. So she's not giving herself enough credit for what she did in the state tournament, shooting the 10-pin. She had a few more challenges than normal.
But still, it was still a good state tournament, though.
That was a wonderful state tournament. We bowled great. The team that we lost to in the state tournament won their 13th consecutive state title. You know, how do you beat that? Yeah. You go do the best you can. And our girls scored 8 points. We won 5 of the 12 heads-up matches, and we lost 4 of the heads-up matches by a grand total of 14 pins. And we bowled great. We bowled a second highest number of the year. We bowled our highest number of the year on a sports shot pattern. Our girls did wonderful. We just got beat by a team that made all their spares. You know, all their spares is an overestimate. They made most of their spares.
Yeah, sure.
But they made more than we did, and that was the difference in them winning and us not.
Right.
So, and Coach talked about it, and now we've hit again. So we do have the camera up here. So for the social media people who are watching YouTube, let's see these nails. Okay, so which one came off?
This one's the one that came off.
All right.
Yeah.
But you've got the fourth one. The fourth fingers have got different patterns than the others.
They've got little flowers on them.
Is that for Valentine's Day, or was that just a thing this week?
Well, this week was homecoming, and I was on homecoming court, and so that was what it was for.
Oh, okay. All right. So
yeah.
Now we understand.
Yes, we do.
We have to ask these questions. You know, when people come in with something unique and different, purple hair.
Yeah.
That was always a good one. So the ride over, I'm going to assume it was more exciting than the ride back from Smyrna. Was that a fun trip? Was it something where you all were stressed out and not even talking? What kind of trip was it to drive over on the way over to state?
I think we were all very excited because we got to get in and out on the way there. That's the only thing we wanted. And so everybody was just super excited, but we were also, half of us were asleep, half of us were just talking like normal. And then the ride back, nobody rode together, so. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach, you got the big question is who got the steak? What you put that out there? Who had to pick up the bill on the steak?
Well, I paid the bill for the meal. The school and the school system's hopefully going to finish paying for it. I put it on the credit card. They ate well, and they get bribed well with food, as you just heard. Again, the theme in every one of these conversations is steak for dinner, in and out, traveling. We get them to the bowling alley and we feed them and bribe them with food.
Sure.
Was there a Bucky stop involved in this trip?
There was for me. That's where I stopped. My meal on the way down was beef jerky from Bucky's. I didn't get too fancy.
It's good stuff, though.
Yeah.
It is. Well, we want to give you all congratulations making the Final Four. It was a great run. We didn't mention it, but district and region and state sectional championships put that banner up that's always going to be hanging in the gym for you guys. So congratulations for that, and thank you for coming in this morning to talk about it. Mike, we'll take a quick turn to the page.
Yeah, before we get out of here, I know people watch us on YouTube and so forth. I want to compliment them on their apparel this morning. They look good.
Well, yeah, I didn't mention that, but matching sweatshirts it's a rarity among our guests, and I'm glad to see it.
They look sharp.
Well, the girls picked this color pattern out this year. This is the first time we've ever worn black. Most of the time it's the cardinal red or the blue or the gray. And I kind of like them. I think it's my favorite set.
Looks good. Good choice.
Really does.
Good choice. Hey, it's time for a break, and when we return, it's the Boyd Sports Spotlight. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boyd's Sports Spotlight, and we're going to start off with Donnie Moore and some sports headlines. Yeah.
Well, thank you, my friend. Let's do the sports headlines segment, brought to you, as always, by our friends at Fast Signs. You guys are getting so good.
We're good at that. We're good at that.
I practice during the week.
Good job. Legendary NBA point guard Chris Paul announced yesterday that he was retiring from the NBA after 21-plus years. The 40-year-old was waived by the Toronto Raptors, prompting the news release, which summed everything up. Paul said, "This is it."
That's it.
Yep, pretty much.
Wow.
This is it. Best wishes in all your future endeavors, Christopher Emmanuel Paul, a.k.a. CP3.
That's right.
Yep.
He's
a good player.
Good player, yeah. I mean, it shows so
he
much.
gave me some good memories of the New Orleans Hornets.
Could
the
be
only memories.
Could be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
eventually.
I would think so.
Here are the teams that he played for in his career: the New Orleans Hornets, which became who became the Pelicans later on, from 2005 to 2011.
It's only gotten worse.
Yep, and he was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
and runner-up for MVP one time.
He was.
Right?
Yes, he was.
And he's got a statue too.
Played for the L.A. Clippers next from 2011 to 2017. Then from 2017 to 2019, he played for the Houston Rockets. 2019 to 2020, he was with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And also just a short period of time right there with the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Golden State Warriors was his home for 2023 to 2024. And then 24 to 25, he played for the San Antonio Spurs. He's well-traveled.
Yeah.
And then the L.A. Clippers from 25 to 26. In 1,300-plus NBA games that he played, 1,300-plus, he averaged 16.9 points, 9.2 assists, 4.4 rebounds, and 2 steals per game.
Golly.
Not too shabby.
No. And what you got to do is look at his stats when he was really in his prime, because obviously it's gone down, the last 4 or 5 years, but still,
it has. But
what a great player.
Can he sue for college eligibility, y'all think?
I think he can. I think he can go back.
I think the door's open.
I want to make a point here. You said he played for how many years in the NBA?
21 plus.
21 plus. I just looked it up right here. The average span for a player in the NBA is 4.5 to 5 years.
Wow.
Now listen,
Talk
I
about
know,
some
I know these
longevity.
universities are pitching NBA. We'll put you in the NBA.
Yeah.
First of all, it's extremely difficult
It is.
to make the NBA cut. And secondly, after you're there, it's extremely difficult to stay there.
Yes.
So the money sounds good, but the lifespan is not great.
Not very good. That's why you see a lot of Americans that
Talk
end
about
up going to
very
Europe. and
some
all.
longevity.
That's the pitch you don't get from college
picture of
coaches
that.
right there. Now they don't want to hear that pitch.
No, absolutely. Well, New England Patriots star wide receiver Stephon Diggs appeared in a Dedham, Massachusetts court yesterday and pleaded not guilty to charges of felony suffocation or strangulation and misdemeanor assault and battery. Diggs was also ordered to stay away from his former private chef after she leveled the charges against him in late December. Diggs is due in court April 1st for a pretrial hearing. Can't these guys stay out of trouble?
They're idiots.
I'm telling you, Tony.
Absolutely idiots.
I agree.
And so it's for strangulation.
Yeah, felony suffocation or strangulation.
Yeah, that's usually not a good thing.
No.
Don't try to
And he
choke
played in the
the
Super Bowl.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, don't.
Yeah, she's not going. She could poison you in a heartbeat, couldn't she?
That'll cut short those life spans of a
Yes,
pro
it
player
will.
right there if you're not careful.
Well, Lakers star LeBron James passed another career milestone Thursday in LA's win over Dallas. The 41-year-old James became the oldest player ever to record a triple-double.
Wow.
He just keeps hanging in there. Yeah, 41 years old.
You want to talk about longevity, Mike?
That's it right there. Well, the NASCAR Cup Series season is here again. The 2026 campaign begins tomorrow with the 68th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, broadcast by Fox Sports at 2:30 p.m. Eastern.
Don't make any plans for that.
That's right.
No, I should say to make some plans because the chances this thing's going to actually start on time tomorrow are pretty slim.
Yeah, I know, really. The Daytona 500 has opened the NASCAR season every February since 1982.
Yeah, and it's always the biggest race of the year for NASCAR.
Yep.
They open up with the biggest race of the season.
That's right. They
They're
do.
all those drivers are green. They hadn't been on a track for a while, and there they are. They open with their biggest event.
Yeah, and fans love it because they're going to see a big wreck. For the most part.
you can watch something else until the last 10 laps, and the last 10 laps could last an hour and a half. Restarts and all that.
Yeah.
I remember in Boy Scouts, our troop went to the 24 hours of Daytona.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And it
Rolex,
was
24 hours.
We were in the infield area, and we saw more things in the infield area that
I
we never.
imagine.
I think our maturity level increased quite a bit after being in that.
You fell in love with racing, didn't you, Tony?
I don't think we were even looking at the race cars. I mean, there's a lot of things I was. Oh my God!
Trivia question.
Yeah.
Can anybody tell me the winner of the Daytona 500 for the last 2 races? Same guy.
Yeah.
No, not.
William Byron. William Byron has won the event for the last 2 years, and the all-time Daytona 500 wins leader is
Richard Petty.
the King, Richard Petty. You're right. He has 7 checkered flags.
Yeah. You can be safe with Richard Petty on just about any question.
Any record.
You may not have it right, but you're pretty close.
You are. You're in the ballpark.
Isn't this the anniversary, 25-year anniversary, Dale Earnhardt? Getting.
I think it is.
I think
it's close to that.
He got killed 25 years ago.
Cale Yarborough has 4 Daytona 500 wins, so he's second.
Yeah.
So far, the Pittsburgh Pirates announced Thursday that Elroy Face, a member of the club's Hall of Fame and the all-time franchise leader in games pitched, has died at the age of 97.
Wow. Moves Charlie Playo up another notch.
Yeah, Charlie goes up a notch.
You know, every week he moves up a notch, it seems.
He does.
like.
That's right.
People ahead of him are dying off.
Yeah.
Face pitched in parts of 16 league seasons, 16 big league seasons, in parts of them, and maybe not all of it, but he made the leap from Double-A ball to the majors after developing one of the best fork balls in the sport's history, and retired following the 1969 season.
I got his baseball card. I remember watching him pitch because their spring training was in Bradenton, Florida. And you're right, he was a forkball pitcher and all that.
He was. He sure was.
One of the great series, too, that 1960 series with the Pirates.
Yes.
Yankees.
Pirates and Yankees.
He would have been one
Bill
of those.
Mazeroski's home run. And
you don't really see a good fork ball anymore.
No, you don't.
No.
Everybody's trying to throw splitters.
Everybody
or
does the splitters and cutters.
Yeah. Everybody wants to throw 100.
Yeah, really. Well, let's talk about a few things that happened on this day in sports, February the 14th. Let's go back to 1951. Sugar Ray Robinson TKO's Jake LaMotta for the middleweight title.
Yep.
Sugar Ray, boy, he's a fighter. 1960, back to
1960.
racing.
There I am.
Junior Johnson survives a 37-car crash on turn 4 and wins the second Daytona 500.
Good Lord, they only start 43
I know they start
cars
43. They had 37 involved. Yeah.
I want to see the replay on that one.
Well, you have to go back to 1960 to find it, but I bet it's on the internet.
That took out half the infield, Tony.
Now,
Good thing you weren't there for that one.
Was that when they were still on sand? Before they actually built the
I don't
stadium?
know. That was the
track?
second. I don't know. 1960.
Way back, 1960.
Yeah.
Junior Johnson.
Yeah, he won the 500 driving a John Massoni owned Chevrolet.
Okay.
Yep, on that day. 1966, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain breaks the NBA scoring record of 2,884 points. Since been broken again.
Yeah.
But
legend.
Oh man,
Legend.
he sure was. 1971, moving back to the King, Richard Petty wins his 3rd Daytona 500, goes on the same season to win the inaugural Winston Cup title. Not called the Winston Cup anymore.
No, we've had about 4 sponsors since then.
Yeah.
What year was that? 71?
1971.
But
you on the
when does
NASCAR? Can you name me the 2 Indy drivers that won the Daytona 500? The 2 Indy drivers that won at the Daytona 500. There's only been 2.
There's only been 2. Let's see. One of them was I can't think of his name. I can see him right now. Can't think.
Give
of his
us the
name,
answer,
though.
Mike.
Come on.
A.J. Foyt.
Yeah.
And Mario Andretti.
Yep.
They
Andretti.
both,
That's
both won the Daytona 500.
That's right.
That's what I was thinking.
When did the Piston Cup come into play?
Oh, I don't know.
Lightning McQueen,
Yeah.
multi-time Piston Cup winner.
1982 Daytona 500. Bobby Allison wins with a 23-second margin of victory. That's
Ran away with it.
Yeah, 23 seconds is
quite a bit.
over Cale Yarbrough, and 23 seconds is more than half a lap.
Yeah.
That might have been the. They must have had another 37-car pileup.
No,
or something
back in those days, the drivers were more responsible for the race than the equipment. Now
Yes.
these cars are set up so much
They're
same
set
way.
up
They
exactly the same,
They just
yeah.
right on top of each other.
1988 PGA Senior Championship at PGA National was won by Gary Player over Chichi Rodriguez.
There you go.
I tell you what, Chi-Chi was something
He was a
else.
character,
He was
wasn't he?
really fun to watch.
He sure was.
Did he ever wear pants
Yeah.
that were a single color?
I never saw him in single color pants.
But you're right. He'd make a big shot. He'd use that golf club as a sword.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then put it
Then it's
back in the holster.
Yep.
1992 American sprinter Andre Cason runs a world record 60 meters indoors in Madrid, Spain. He ran the 60 meters in 6.41 seconds.
Pretty fast.
Lord.
It's moving on, isn't it?
I can't drive my car that fast.
No. 1995, the Portland Trailblazers trade Clyde the Glide Drexler to Houston. And then the Rockets summarily and went on to win the 1995 NBA title with Clyde the Glide. Yep, sure did.
That was a good trade.
Oh, man,
Did good
no
on
doubt.
that one. Absolutely.
2018, moving on up to a few years, Shaun White wins his 3rd Olympic halfpipe gold medal at Pyongyang, China Winter Games.
Very good.
How do you like that? 2019, OKC guard Russell Westbrook makes a triple-double, 44 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists in an NBA record 11th consecutive game.
Wow.
Triple-double in 11 consecutive games. That's a great streak right there, isn't it? Couple of birthdays on this day. In 1913, Woody Hayes.
Hey, whoa, boy.
Happy birthday,
my
Woody.
Goodness.
Woody Hayes.
Woody
Calmest,
Hayes.
calmest sideline coach I ever saw.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah,
I tell you what, don't be a Clemson football player making an
Okay.
interception now. He's going to
Now,
clock it.
is having your birthday today the same as being born on Christmas? Because it doesn't sound like you ever get to celebrate your birthday.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Pretty
you're
much.
just kind of like,
Nobody was safe on Woody's sideline.
Oh, no. Heavens no.
no,
He won.
player or opponent.
He won 5 natties at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great coach.
1972, born on this day, Drew Bledsoe. Remember that name? 4 Pro Bowls, played for the Patriots. Great quarterback, born in Ellenburg, Washington.
And wasn't it
Ellensburg.
And wasn't it Brady, the one that fouled him, Bledsoe?
I think
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
When he got hurt,
When he
Brady
got
his
he got
chance.
hurt,
He
didn't he?
got hurt. Yeah.
And they ended up keeping Brady and trading Bledsoe.
1973, birthday today, Steve McNair. NFL MVP in 2003 for the Titans. Born in Mount Olive, Mississippi. Died in 2009.
He's still, throughout my career, the greatest quarterback I've ever seen, actually coach against him, because when I was at Samford, he was playing his senior year at Alcorn State. And there was huge hype on him.
Yes.
And he came to Samford and played. I tell you what, that guy had the strongest arm, and
He sure
and
did.
he could run and scramble.
Oh, yeah.
We lost
He
to
was
them
your
like
consummate
42
quarterback.
to 40, something like that. He was unbelievable.
Couple of deaths to talk about on this day. 2014, Jim Fregosi. Major League Baseball,
Los
six-time
Angeles-
All-Star.
Los Angeles Angels.
Played for the Angels,
yep.
the Mets, and the Rangers. Died at
manager, too.
71 years of age.
He's a great player.
He
Absolutely.
sure was. And in 2024, Don Gullett, three-time World Series champ, Reds, Yankees, died at 73.
Great player as well.
He sure was. He sure was. Well, that's all I've got for this week's Sports Headlines segment, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs.
No Olympics in there, Donnie.
No, not this time. I'm going to wait till
No Olympics after.
wait and do a recap.
After we had so
When I
much
write
fun.
this, every time when I write this, it's always wrong because they've always been playing and got more medals. And
Okay, so I just got to bring this up. The guy in the moguls who won the gold or medaled, I guess it was Friday, from Australia.
Uh-huh. Yeah, how does that happen?
Australia gets, 5 inches of snow a decade? How did this guy win a medal?
I think it's safe to say he trained someplace else.
It must be easy to make those Olympic teams. If you're,
Well, if you're from
a
Australia.
snowboarder who's trying to make the Australian team.
Yeah. I mean, what's your competition?
Donnie's waiting on the Jamaican bobsled.
Yeah,
team
Jamaican
to make their
bobsled.
move.
They've got Jamaica had a luge team the other day. And
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They had the best entrance
Luge,
in the
skeleton.
opening. Yeah.
It would seem like somebody from our part of the world would be the best part for this moguls thing, because it looks like you go downhill very, very fast, and then you turn onto the dirt road portion that's all bumps and potholes. And then if you can still be standing straight when you hit the finish line, you're good.
They ought to do their training in East Tennessee.
That just sounds like Monday.
Wow. Well, I'm Donnie Moore, so that's it. Back to you, Gunner.
Thank you, Donnie. I'm here
You're
with, of course, Donnie and Marcus Fitzsimmons and Tony Aruli and Caleb Giroux. Got a couple of other Vol news. The Lady Vol softball team, Caleb, off to a great start, 7-0. And I'm just going down here looking at these scores. They beat BYU 10-0, Liberty 6-1, Rutgers 9-1, Boston College 6-0, number 5 Oregon 2-0, number 11 Nebraska 4-1, and James Madison 11-0. And out of all of those games, those teams have scored a combined 3 runs.
Yep.
I say that's a good start, wouldn't you? And 2 ranked teams they've beat.
When you've got a pitching staff led by Carlin Pickens, who set the NCAA record for fastest pitch, you should be keeping teams to 3 runs in a weekend. And what's good about this team, Mike, is Karen Weekly in Tennessee has always had great pitching teams. You think about the team with Monica Abbott back in the mid 2000s. Now you've got another great pitcher in Carlin Pickens who will be in the record books, but they've never had a complete offense to pair with that pitching that can get them to the postseason. And so far, it looks like this team, they made a change at hitting coach last year and brought in a new hitting coach. It seems early on that they have an offense that can compete. And I think last year they lost 1-0 or 2-0 to get eliminated. So looking at the big picture, it seems like this team can make a run and finally be complete and help out some of those pitchers too. Because Carlin Pickens last year had to throw complete games and give up no runs to hope for a win. She was almost 500 last year with an ERA under 1.
That program over there.
I thought after last year that their offseason should consist in part of of everybody in the lineup having to work against Pickens. If you can get to the point you can hit her, you can hit against anybody in the country.
You can hit anybody. That's right.
How fast is their best pitch?
I think it was almost 80 miles an hour, wasn't it? 78,
79?
Underhand. They're
You can't
and
touch that.
and they're closer than baseball too, so it's 50-something feet, 40-something feet.
Yeah.
So the reaction time is equivalent to almost 110.
Plus she's tall too, so
she
sure is.
Caleb, traditionally softball and Karen Weekly's has always that program's always gotten off to a pretty good start. This is not out of the ordinary for them. They usually start off really stout out of the gate, and then at the end of the season, there's some rough spots there, and then the tournament. But this has been historically, women's softball at UT has been outstanding, and the Weeklies have been there a long time. They deserve a national championship, do they not?
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, and like I said, this is another pitching staff that can compete for championships. It's just a question of what does the offense do, and like you said, they always start out hot, but whenever you only have 1 or 2 arms, it's going to burn out in the end, especially when you get to May. So I think you gotta hope the offense comes around. It's also a lot tougher conference now. You've added Oklahoma, which is probably the best softball program in the country, to the conference.
Yeah.
You added Texas. They've never been bad. You still have LSU, Florida. Alabama's always been competitive. So it's not going to be an easy road, but you know, I think hopefully for them with the new hitting coach staff and some of the new pieces in this lineup, shoot, freshman Elsa Morrison from Farragut, her first game, she went 3 for 4 with a home run. And everybody in Blount County knows about having to play her at Maryville and William Blount and what she did in high school, and she's their starting catcher as a freshman. So there's a lot of talent on this team that could surely compete for a championship.
Yeah. Ball baseball got a new skipper over there. They opened up yesterday against Nichols, and they won 10-0. So they're 1-0. They play Nichols today at 1 o'clock at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. This is only a 2-game series.
Three-game series.
I didn't see the Sunday.
It's a doubleheader today because of the weather tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Well, I didn't see that. I was looking for the Sunday game, and I couldn't see the Sunday game. So
you looked while they were adjusting the Sunday and moving it to Saturday.
Thank you very much.
See, they were originally going to play dimes on
quarters.
Sunday, quarters, since they're playing nickels right now. You know that, so just
79.4 miles per hour is Carlin Pickens.
You can't touch that.
That's
Hey,
you can't touch
mentioned Joe Lenardi in the basketball bracketology earlier in the show. I'm looking at the SEC standings, and he's got 10 teams in the NCAA tournament. That's SEC teams. I'm looking at 8. I'm looking right now at Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Alabama, Missouri, Tennessee, and Texas A&M. I'm not sold on Georgia, and he's got one other one in there. Georgia's
Auburn.
Auburn, I think, is
and
the other one.
I'm good.
Both,
I'd be good with 8 for the fact that if we're getting to the point where you've got more than half the conference in the NCAA tournament, what are you leaving out to get those guys in?
Yeah.
Well, and we talked about Miami of Ohio earlier, undefeated. If they don't win their conference, Joe Lenardi predicts they won't make the tournament.
Yeah.
So they haven't lost a single game, but if they don't win their conference. So I think last year the SEC set a record with the most teams in the tournament ever, and then those teams went into the tournament. And obviously Florida won the championship, but a lot of those teams faltered out pretty early.
Yeah,
so it wasn't a good look. But the more teams in the tournament, the better for Tennessee.
I don't know how strong this league is. It's got a lot of parity. I'm saying they've got good teams in here. I don't see any great teams. Right now it appears that Florida's kind of got the upper edge as far as maybe being a little bit above everybody else. Arkansas maybe a step below Florida, but everybody else you could just about throw them in a bag and throw them out on the table, and they just all kind of look equal, don't they, Tony?
Yeah, except for their game against Auburn, Florida's just been really, in my opinion, pretty dominant.
They've really come on.
Yeah,
they finally got those guards clicking over there.
Yeah, but they didn't get a lot of respect to start the year in the SEC because they played a really good preseason schedule. They played Connecticut, and they played some really good teams there, and their record wasn't as impressive as some of the other people, but they're really showing out now in the league and playing extremely well. So we'll see as that goes on. I think this league, Caleb, is still wide open. You got a lot of teams with.
Yeah.
I'm looking down through here. You got teams with 4 losses, and you got a team with 2 losses, but everybody's still. I mean, you look at those 8 teams; they're all in the hunt for a Southeastern Conference regular season championship. I don't know in the past if we've had that many teams that's still on the board as for a chance to
still
win
in
the
contention.
league.
That's right.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun final month here.
It really is. It really is, and I think Tennessee's got some advantage there because they got Alabama at home, they got Vanderbilt at home. Really, their toughest road games are at Vandy and at Missouri.
Right.
Coming up, so they're right in the hunt. Yeah. Along with everybody else, so we'll see how it plays out.
And Missouri plays well, pretty good at home.
Yeah.
So,
but they don't play Florida again. No, they don't play Arkansas again, which is right up there at the top, and they don't play Texas A&M again. Of course, they did beat Texas A&M.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting the next several weeks.
Sure is.
Yeah. Time for a break. When we return, we'll be back. With some more, we're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl and the SEC basketball schedule for today. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and I'm here along with Donnie Moore, Marcus Fitzsimmons, and Tony Iruli. Looking at this SEC schedule today, and there are some big games, really big games. Kentucky, number 25, is at Florida, number 14.
Yeah,
that's a big game.
Sure is.
Texas A&M is at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt ranked number 19, and they're going to try to win a home game here, which last Saturday they lost, I think, to Oklahoma.
They did.
Marcus, Texas A&M. I look at them as the Rodney Dangerfield of the SEC. They've been up on top. They've been right there with everybody else, but absolutely no respect.
No respect
In the polls. Absolutely no respect in the polls. And I think they're a pretty good basketball team. I don't think they're as deserving as what a lot of people are letting on. I mean, I'd hate to play them. They got that full court pressure, and
yeah,
they're a little on the small side, but they can shoot it and they can go after you. What do you think?
They just get penalized in part because of their pre-conference schedule, and in part they're taking a bit of a penalty because the style they play is something that it's got some obvious drawbacks when you get the wrong matchups. And I think people are looking at who they could potentially lose to because of their size and the way they play. But I think if you win, you win. I think you deserve that.
Right.
So it's kind of like we were talking about. You got undefeated teams that if they lose the wrong game, they may not make the field. It's kind of the same thing. It's like some of these teams don't get respect because it's more about I don't think they look right rather than did they win.
Yeah. Well, they can take a step forward today if they go into Vanderbilt and beat them.
They sure can.
As well as Vanderbilt's been playing, and Vanderbilt's had some big wins on the road. Let's talk about a team that is on the skids. Let's talk about Auburn.
Ooh,
Number 21 Arkansas is at Auburn today, and Auburn is struggling at home. Vanderbilt beat them last week. Alabama beat them at home, and that's something that hadn't been done down there for a while. They're 5-6 and 14-10, and Stephen Pearl inherited a pretty good basketball team from his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some talent going into this season, and right now it's sizing up to be disappointing down there in Auburn land. And if Arkansas goes in there and beats them today, it's going to get more disappointing down there in Auburn land. Stephen Pearl feeling a little heat in this first season down there, Marcus.
It sure is.
It was a challenging situation to walk into, and I think you'd have to assume that he walked into it with his eyes wide open, that this is going to have an appearance to everybody on the outside that this was given to you because of your name. So you've got an immediate bar to clear, and you're not clearing it right now. So you're going to take that extra level of heat. If he was just a first-year coach trying to follow Bruce Pearl, it would be tough. But you're trying to follow Bruce Pearl, and you've got half the fan base saying you only got the job because of your son.
Yeah.
So
yeah, including me.
Yeah, you were the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
He's got no head coaching experience whatsoever.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
He's been a
I'm
player
saying
for his dad. He's playing for his dad here at UT. If somebody else was there, he wouldn't have been on the court.
Correct.
He wouldn't have been on the team.
Correct.
And then he goes down to Auburn with his dad down there. He takes him down there, and his dad quits, 3 or 4 weeks before the season starts, and they can't do anything, but they can't go get another coach. They can't go get any more players.
Yep.
Players can't leave. And I'm going to turn it over to my son here. But I've said time and time again, a lot of those deals just don't work out. These fathers leaving the deal to their son, it just doesn't work out.
I'm not the perspective of the Auburn fan base. Like you just said.
You're right.
Wasn't Bobby Knight's son?
Yeah,
about
he
the
left
same
the job to him at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Yeah.
And you go back to DePaul, Joey Meyer. You know, his dad up at DePaul was so successful at DePaul for years and years in basketball there, and he left the job to his son, Joey, and that didn't work out.
No.
Joey had some really good years, but he just didn't live up to the expectations, of his dad.
But then you see some that try to deliberately take steps to avoid that happening. When you talk about Virginia Tech, and the coach's son does not want to take over and goes on and goes his own route. He doesn't want to sit there.
Beamer?
Yeah.
In fact, when the job opened up this past year, there was a strong movement with the alums to try to get Beamer to come back at Virginia Tech. And I got a hand to him, and he says, no, because I would always be referred to as Coach Beamer's son.
Yeah.
And he did not want that. So I give him a lot of credit for doing that.
Yeah, it's one thing following a legend, but then there's the other deal where you're following a legend and he's your dad.
That's true.
I mean, that's even a harder situation.
Big
I
shoes
think.
to fill.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Auburn can sit down there. Bruce is still working for the university, and he can go, we want Bruce back. We want Bruce. And Bruce has got a super ego. There's nothing wrong with Bruce's ego.
No.
And, they want Bruce back. Well, okay, I'll come back, and I'm going to let my son be my assistant coach right here. Everything will be like old times again. Everybody be happy. Huh?
It's true.
I don't know.
But they're 2 losses in a row. It's the first time they've lost 2 home games in a row since for the last 7, 8 years or something like that. So right now
they don't do that often.
No. And Texas is at Missouri. Missouri's one of those teams that's playing really well at home. Really playing well at home. Texas has kind of been up and down. So this is a real big game for Missouri. If they want to stay in the hunt and stay in the chance to maybe be an SEC regular season champion, improve their status and whatnot going in the NCAA tournament, the SEC tournament, huge game for them.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because I've watched Missouri several times. One, because I coached there for a couple of years, but secondly, you're exactly right. They seem to play very well when they're at home.
Yeah.
But when on the road, they really look like a different team.
Alabama has been through the juggernaut the last few weeks. They've got South Carolina coming to Tuscaloosa today. Thank you very much, because I'm tired of going to all these different places and playing all these really tough teams. I mean, they have really had a string of top-notch games. And, of course, they had the big win there at Auburn last week, and they seem to be playing well. And, of course, they had the player that's now
they don't have the pro player now.
Yeah, I was going to ask Tony what he felt about that. What do you feel about that player down there that played those games, and he made an impact in some of those games? Now they say he can't play. Well, where does that put those games he was in?
Yeah,
should they forfeit those games, or
they may have to vacate them?
That typifies the mess that the NCAA is.
It sure does.
To allow a former player who went in the pros, played in the G League, and said, "Oh, by the way, we'll let you come back." Who in the court proceedings? It was the trial was in Alabama. The judge was from Alabama. The lawyers are from Alabama. Guess what? He's going to play at Alabama. And it's just like the same deal that's going on with football with Aguilar up here.
Yeah. Well, they're still on the hunt. They're 7-4 in the league, and they're just a couple of games out. What if they come back and win the league, or they tie for the league? And here you've basically used an ineligible player.
Yeah.
Is that
could happen?
How does that set?
Well,
there are no rules.
Rules.
I know what would happen if it was TSSAA.
Oh, I guarantee you that. But
it's not.
Tony, I really got you here. I want to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl.
That's right. We had a Super Bowl.
And there for a while, I thought it was going to be the first Super Bowl in which we had a team that was shut out.
Well, we talked about it. One of the things we said that there were 0 teams, but after the third quarter, I said, we may break the record on this one.
Your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Well, it just showed that Seattle just had a kick-ass offensive defense.
Oh, man.
I mean, even, let's conclude special teams. I mean, they just completely dominated the football game.
They were just obviously the better football team.
I don't think
At least
the game
that night.
the game wasn't as close as the score, was it? 29-13. I don't think it was really as close.
No. I mean, it was just like I said, complete domination, and you don't see that type of game very often in a Super Bowl, where the Patriots were really completely out of the game. They had no offense going. I mean, the Seattle's defensive line just totally dominated.
It did. You're right.
The offense, especially
and this is one thing I didn't understand, because when we looked at it, like Monday, and we're showing highlights and looking at it, I'm just mystified. Like, how did the Patriots get this far with that left side of that offensive line being two rookies, and Seattle being the first team to decide to come after them that way?
Yeah.
Like, did everybody else just miss this fact, and Seattle was just like, well, there it is right there, come at the left side?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Seattle had obviously 2 weeks to prepare against them. But you're right. I mean, they just went after those two rookies on the left side.
They sure did.
And, they brought up a point, the left tackle, which is your key position on your offensive line, because he's in charge of protecting the back side of the quarterback. And he just got totally dominated. And they started saying, well, he's got short arms. He can't extend very well. Well, that's a hard thing to come up with, on Super Bowl Sunday, that this is an exposure, for their offensive protection.
Yeah. I was thinking about Coach Trail when I came in this morning. So if Coach Trail was sitting here this morning and I asked him the question about the Super Bowl, I know exactly how he would respond. He'd say, "That's the most boring game I've ever seen in my whole life. I'd rather watch paint dry."
Right.
That's exactly what he would say.
That's the worst offense. How in the heck did they even make it to the NFL?
That offensive line for the New England Patriots. Good gosh, the guy didn't even have time to stand back here and throw the ball.
Yeah.
I could just hear him, huh?
And
me too.
And during his quarterback, May, I mean, he took it.
Poor old May.
Shellacking. I mean, every time he threw the ball, he got nailed on the backside, and he did everything he possibly could, but it just.
Yeah. I was sitting there, and I'm not a football guy, but, he didn't have any time back here. Whatever happened to a two-step drop and maybe a short throw or a down and out, or
didn't
it seemed like everything they did was dropping back here and try to throw the ball downfield.
Yeah,
I mean,
even when he was in a shotgun formation, I mean, he was getting instant pressure on his backside. What happens is that you start getting hit on the backside a lot during the game. All of a sudden now you get that nervous twitch now.
That's right.
And you're kind of looking on that backside a bit, and you can see a couple of the plays that he threw. I mean, you could tell that he was feeling the pressure. Yeah, of nervousness of dropping back.
Well,
and you're right. I mean, should have gone to maybe a quicker game going on.
Tony, I was sitting there watching the game, and, my eyes kept getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And finally my mind would start to roam, and I'm going, are these the two best teams in the NFL? So I'm just going to ask you the question. Did the two best teams in the NFL play in the Super Bowl this year?
Well, first of all, with your mind starting wandering, you got to cut back on your drinks during the game.
And the food.
And the food and all that stuff like that. But, I think, the AFC's maybe a little bit of a weaker division than the NFC. But, New England, they kind of cruised.
Yeah.
And they were competitive all throughout the playoffs.
And in all fairness to them, what a job Vrabel did
out
there in New England.
Well,
and
Coach of the
Drake
Year.
May had a bad game, but what a great year that he had up there.
Oh, certainly,
I mean, you can't take that away.
Yeah,
from
you
him.
hate for the loss in the Super Bowl, but it shouldn't distract. But what kind of outstanding year he had. Vrabel, I mean, he's one of my favorite coaches, and so I'm happy for New England. But at the same time, what a job by Seattle.
Yeah,
I agree.
And when you talk about the game, they still had 137.8 million viewers, which is only second to last year.
Yeah,
the 59 million.
People,
and that was a pretty enthusiastic Super Bowl that went pretty much all the way down to the line.
Right. And so we're, so it was a good way. And like I said, Seattle was a dominant team, and so no ifs, ands, or buts about this.
Unfortunately, Tony, we can't get to Bad Bunny because Donnie's over here with a whistle. So
right, it's time.
Boy, you're lucky.
You can
for
think
me not talking about Happy Rabbit.
You can think about that for a week and come back next week. Tell us what you think about it.
Good thing Ray Trail wasn't here for this one.
You're exactly right.
Donnie.
All right, folks.
Blow it. Yep. Hey, that'll do it for today's edition of the GoTeez Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host of the Bluetick Tavern, and all our sponsors. Till next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports.
And that's the final whistle. Join us again next Saturday for the GoTeez Sports Page. The best in local sports since 1978.